Good morning, Kentucky. Happy Monday. It's your old pal, Dr. Brislin here, her house. It's where I am now. It's where we all are. We're here for our Monday cooking demo. It's a beautiful sunny day. I hope you're also have a nice view out of a window to see the blue sky. And would love to hear about if you went to a farmer's market this weekend, if you stopped by a farm stand. I don't know, maybe your CSA share starts this week. If you've picked up any beautiful fresh product or vegetables, please put it in the comments. You'll notice we upgraded our StreamYard and have our own branding now. So we're coming up in the digital world here at the Food Connection. We've got a great demo ready this week for you. I know we say that every week, but it's always true. And we are emphasizing the beautiful product that's coming online now. Fresh spring flavors, those tender little leaves popping out of the ground. And so we've talked about local food marketplace, where you can get your weekly pickup at the South Farm. There's some locations at West 6 or at Great Bagel. I can show that again. We've talked about how the farmers markets are open, ready for you, essential service, lots of just adaptations that we're all putting in place to keep each other healthy and happy. And another way to access some of the seasonal products and to support your local farmers that I'd like to show you is their online stores. So even if you're going to the farmers market, you can put your order in ahead of time and have it ready for you. It's sort of like click list for the farmers market. And there's some great examples here that Tanya's told me about and we've heard about. So let me show you a couple. Here is Elmwood Stock Farm, a perennial favorite. And you can see you can just go right online. They have their farm store open, I think, most days of the week, and they're also at the farmers markets. They're also at the local food marketplace. But you can go on, browse with your eyes, browse from the comfort of your sweatpants at home, and see. I think maybe Tanya will have to correct me, but I think we might be seeing some of these beautiful Japanese turnips today. Look at all this fresh greenness. Oh my goodness. So you can look at Elmwood Stock Farm. We can look at another tab. I meant to make more comments about this, but we were supposed to honor Mark and Velvet Hinkle at this April's First Friday breakfast, but we weren't able to, and we've still got that. We're holding on to that preciously, that opportunity to honor them through the Bill Best Award, but they have an online site up and ready. So it's mostly plant starts right now. So if you're getting out in the garden, getting your knees all muddy on the weekends, you can grow some of their tomatoes right at your house. Look at these. Oh, a brand new one. Who doesn't love that? They have pickup on their farm, but this is just an example of you can order ahead. It'll be ready for you at the market. What else have we looked at? Let me show you in one more tab. And there we go. Raft Draft Farm Store. Now, they don't have up much now on this store, but they just do such a beautiful job. We featured them at the local food summit this spring, if you were there, because they do such a beautiful job with their blog. I encourage you to follow them on Instagram. But you can go on, get a dozen eggs. They have other products up there. And again, it's ready and waiting for you at the farmer's market. You can make other arrangements. So many ways to get your fix of local vegetables. What a way to stay healthy. What a way to have something beautiful and flavorful in your life. And not to forget that there's also still the local food marketplace. I'm show it again and always. Oh, wrong tab. Forget about it. It's Monday, y'all. So please explore. If you have a favorite vendor, I bet you they're doing a farm stand or at very least an online marketplace. Explore it. Have your order ready. Breeze in, breeze out, go about your weekend. It's a great way to do it. And then you can enjoy an incredible meal. So without further ado, let's see what we can do with those products and bring in Chef Tanya.
Good morning.
How's it going over there? We're both really in Wildcat Blue. Look at how spirited we are.
Got my local shirt on. I did go to the farmer's market this weekend. I pre-ordered both from Elmwood and Rough Draft, and you'll see, and you were right about the turnips. I did get the Haruke or the Tokyo turnips from Mac and Nick and at Elmwood. And it's super easy. You just scroll through, throw things in your cart, pay for them and you walk in, say your name, pick up, walk out. It's super quick. Couldn't be easier. I really like the model. I miss stopping and talk to people, but for right now, it's a great model.
Fantastic.
So I'm sorry.
I just said fantastic.
Okay. So we're going to start with those beautiful little carrots that Rough Draft had. And
okay, well, I'll leave you to it.
Okay. Tiny little carrots. I had all of the greens attached. So I want to show you this. I noticed I didn't get rid of these. We're going to use these, not today in this, but I'm going to make a pesto. But look at these beautiful tiny little carrots. On these, super simple preparation, just wash. You don't have to peel. The peels are really thin, tender, and these are delicious. So I've chopped those up a little bit and boiled them just for a few minutes, just to make them a little tender. They still have some crispness. And then I have over here, this is going to be a Moroccan carrot salad. So I have some spring garlic, spring onion. I have a mixture of spices that includes cinnamon, coriander, paprika, a little bit of clove, and some more granulated garlic from South Farm. The onions and garlic are from Elmwood. I have a little extra virgin olive oil, a tiny pinch of sugar, some white wine vinegar, and a little lemon. You'll see on the recipe that I said use preserved lemon, but I don't have a preserved lemon in my pantry right now. So I'm just going to zest a little of the fresh lemon. I've got my pan on medium-high heat, fairly hot, and I'm going to put a little bit of that olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom. And what I'm going to do first is saute the onions and garlic. We talked about this last week. You can use green garlic, green onions, just like you would garlic and onion. I just chop it up. We're going to saute this just for a minute. Then once these onions start to get tender and you'll see them turn translucent, I think I say this in just about every demo I do, saute the onions until they're translucent. They might take on a little color. You don't want it really dark brown. And then I'm going to sprinkle my spices over the onions so they sort of toast in the oil a little bit. Ah, how fragrant. Pan's a little dry. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Now, that should be enough because we have to cook our carrots in this. So that's all happy. I'm going to throw in the carrots. So they get coated with all of that. They're going to get super happy. They're going to cook just a wee bit more. You still want a little bit of bite from the carrots. I'm going to sprinkle the sugar over. Just about I have this recipe, so this is about an eighth of a teaspoon or a pinch. I'm going to throw in my white wine vinegar. You might want to watch when you throw that in. Don't breathe in too deeply. And then do my zest of lemon. This gives it just a little brightness. And a sprinkle of salt. Grind of pepper. I have some chopped cilantro over here that I pre-ordered from Elmwood stock form. It's beautiful, super fragrant when I was picking the leaves. Throw that in. Now, when your carrots are to the tenderness that you like, you can turn off the heat. I'm just going to take this off the heat. And to serve, let's see, I'll put it here. We're going to put on a little extra cilantro and an extra drizzle of olive oil. And it makes a beautiful side or a salad all on its own. You can serve it hot. You can serve it room temp. It's a perfect spring dish. Well, let's pull it this way. Have to remember my stage direction. All right, next, we're going to move on to the turnips. Now, these are tiny, little, delicate, tender white turnips. I'm trying to get where I can show you. The greens are attached. These are also from Elmwood. Again, when you get a root attached to its greens, as soon as you get them home, get them out of the heat and detach the greens from the root, because they'll deteriorate at different rates, and the leaves sap a lot of the water out of the root. So I've done that here, and I've got the roots quartered, actually more small. It's like an eighth, and I didn't peel these either. And the way you can tell if you need to peel or not is just kind of take your thumbnail and press into the flesh. And if your thumb yields easily, you probably don't. Or you can just cut a piece and taste it. And then these are the greens that I've chopped up. And there are only 3 other ingredients, really. There's a little bit of miso. Now, your recipe calls for white miso. All I had was red in my fridge. We're going to go with that. Still a wonderful recipe. This is a little bit of mustard. And this is the rice one, vinegar. So we're going to start with our pan, again, on medium-high heat. And put a little oil in the bottom of the pan. These are quick, easy side dishes. And I'll be honest, this is one of my absolute favorite ways to fix these turnips. Now, they're wonderful raw. These are turnips that you can eat raw. But I do love them cooked this way. So we're going to throw the turnips in. Give them a little sprinkle of sugar. I'm sorry, of salt. It's a Monday, as Lilia said. Throw those in, and we're just going to saute them. They can take on a wee bit of color. We want this on fairly high, medium-high heat. This is the zone where I get a little worried that the students are going to just turn it wide open, and we have to watch them like hawks. So we want this kind of hot. And again, we want the turnips to get tender, but you don't want them mushy. You want a little toothsomeness to it, so that when you bite into it, there's a slight bit of resistance, if not, but not crunch. The one thing I like about all of these recipes, frankly, yes, is that prep on them is really simple. It only takes a few minutes each, and you can have them on the table in just a few minutes. So if you're cooking or grilling and you have these prepped up, then while your meat's resting or your braise might be finishing or you're reducing something, you could throw these together while that's happening. And we're starting to take on some color. And I'm going to add the miso first. Well, let's take it out of the bowl. And the mustard. This is Jennifer's mustard from Sunflower Sundries. We've had her come talk at our First Friday. And then this is the rice wines. And we're going to stir all of that together. And that gets all happy. Again, be careful when you add vinegar. And of course, the root and the greens will cook at a different rate. Oh, I did forget one ingredient, which is a little bit of veggie stock. I was going, this is not saucy. I'm going to put a little bit of stock. I just saved scraps from when I'm doing these demos or we're doing a class, when we're able to do classes. And then just boil it for, well, bring it up to a boil, simmer it for about a half an hour. And that gets all of the flavor of all the different veggies. Now, that's a lovely sauce. And we're going to bring that up to a boil. You want to make sure your miso gets incorporated and coats all of the turnips. For a full recipe, it's about a 1/4 cup of the miso. And now, at the end, I just want to steam these greens a little bit. So I'm going to add those at the very end. Maybe another little sprinkle of salt for the greens. Turnip pepper. And just let your greens wilt slightly. And you're done. And this is one of my favorite dishes of all time. Whenever the hurricane turnips are available, this is the first thing I make. Lastly, we have our beautiful little radishes. I got these from Elmwood. They will be available. They will be available at South Farm's farm stand this week. So you may want to run by and grab some of those. They have 2 options at South Farm. You can pre-order through the farm stand, or if you're picking up your CSA, you can walk up and pick up, or you can drive through and pick up. And you can also pick up your local Food Connection order there at the same time. So it's super convenient. You can get all sorts of veggies at one place. Again, medium-high heat. And I have my radishes quartered, a little bit of Elmwood spinach, some thickly sliced red onion, some good butter. This is the last of our French butter, and I'm going to show you why I'm using the French butter in just a moment. And then a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to start the onions first, just like the others, but we're going to start with butter, not olive oil. Let's take that off. I think it's getting kind of hot. Switch out my trays. Okay, so we're going to add some butter, just enough to saute everything. And once that bubbles and melts, I'm going to add the onion and the radish quarters. And you may say, you're cooking radishes. We're used to eating them raw, either in salads or in the way I'm going to show you in just a second. But actually, they're wonderful cooked. You can braise them, you can roast them, or you can saute them like this. I'm going to go ahead and put my radishes in with the onion and give them a sprinkle of salt. Move them around in the pan. These are English breakfast radishes. You might also see Easter egg radishes, which are pink, red, purple. They're beautiful colors. In the colder months, you might see some watermelon or black radishes. There's so many different varieties. And next, on this, it's super simple. Again, a little splash of vinegar. I'm going to let those cook down a minute. While I let those cook down, I just want to show you a very classic way to eat radishes. Now, the French will take a little breakfast radish, split it in half, spread it with some butter, and dip it in some really good sea salt. One of my favorite ways to kind of alternate that a little bit is to take some really good bread, and this is the Bluegrass Baking Company, the pain au levain. Wonderful texture. We're going to take that good butter, and it's room temp. So you need good bread, good butter, good radishes, good salt. 4 ingredients. We're going to spread the butter on the bread and just tile the slices of radish on here. If you find radishes to be a little hot, then this is a really nice way for you to try them. The butter sort of counteracts all that. You can also soak them in cold salt water, and that helps take some of the harshness off of them. But so we've got them layered like this, and I have some Maldon sea salt. And I like this. This was a manager's special, you can see, at Kroger. But Maldon forms crystals, that are like little pyramids. And it's crunchy. And so it's a nice, lovely last addition. So you get that salt and you get the crunch. And I've got some thyme from Elmwood stock farm, and I'm going to put that on top. Chives are really good. You could make an herbed butter, but this makes a wonderful appetizer. And it's a great way to try radishes, or to use up that bag that you bought for that salad that are sitting in your crisper. Now that our onions have softened and our radishes are a little bit tender, I'm going to throw in all this gorgeous, gorgeous baby spinach. And I'm going to throw in what looks like quite a bit for the radishes we have, because it'll cook all down. Sprinkle a little salt on that. And a grind of pepper. You can see a pattern here. Super simple, super easy. Colorful, the flavors of spring, and I'm longing for some great summer veg. I would give anything for a pea right now. But these are the veggies that are being grown, being harvested, that are at the peak of flavor and ripeness right now. So I encourage you to try these. And just wilt the spinach down slightly until it mixes easily with the red onion and the radishes. And look at that gorgeous dish. All the contrast in color and flavor. So you have a little bit of heat from the radishes. You have the sweetness of the one dish. There you go. So that's a real quick run through of 3 spring root dishes.
I'm back. They look amazing. We had some your mother said, Tanya, that you've never made her cooked radishes before. So we have some new culinary adventures to take.
Might have to do some curbside on Mother's Day.
And I think our consensus is that bread and butter and salt is probably a favorite way to eat radishes, but that does look delicious with the spinach and
beautiful dish.
The color alone, even from here, makes me so tempted. Fantastic. So what else should folks be looking? What do we think's coming on next? We've got radishes and turnips. Love those tender Japanese turnips. What else is coming on board? We've got,
of course, we have tons of little greens. So beautiful baby lettuces. If you like salads, and I know you like salads. Now
I like when other people make me salads. Although I made a salad last night, Tanya. You'd be so proud of me.
I am. I know you struggle with the composition sometimes.
Yes.
When really you just do what you like. I always do what I like and what I have. Yeah, so you have tons of tender little leaves and cooking greens too. So you have kale, mizuna. You might even see some tatsoi soon, chard especially. I've seen quite a bit of chard. And so a lot of that you can just saute up, or you can put in a salad. You can add to a frittata, which is one of our perennial favorites. And so you'll see a lot of that. But this, well, for our traditional Derby Day, it's usually asparagus time. And so we're starting to see asparagus. So that's what we're going to focus on next week.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. Y'all hear that? Asparagus next week.
And again, tiny, tiny window. Okay, this 4 weeks, maybe, depending on weather. So get it now.
Yeah. And I think I saw Saturday market. Yes, we're still in just weekend market. So get your grubby paws on some asparagus and do something delightful with it. You could tag us on Instagram if you make something great. If you make one of these recipes at UK Food Connect. Yeah, we'd love to see what you're cooking at home. We should do more of that. So remember, turn on notifications from Facebook so that it'll notify you when we've gone live. We've had some questions about that. We'll be here every Monday at 11 for now. That's our plan. We may have other fun things, so be sure to follow us. If you have questions, if you have things you'd like to see us play around with, and by us, I mean Tanya. I just sit here and drool. Let us know. Send us a message. Oh, my mom's asparagus is just coming up. Hi, Mom.
Oh, how nice just to go grab your own asparagus.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of it. It's purple, the stuff she has.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So that's it for this week. Lovely dishes. Tanya, thank you. Get out there, enjoy the sunshine, and get some great food. And we'll see you all next week.
Recipes will be posted.
Recipes will be posted. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye.